The Tea Biz podcast delivers tea news that you need to know. A recap of the week's major headlines with commentary and cultural trends hosted by Dan Bolton. It is the voice of origin for tea professionals and enthusiasts worldwide.
Think of us as a digital caravan of storytellers, bringing authentic, authoritative, and exclusive stories to you weekly from the tea lands. Hello, everyone. January is Hot Tea Month. Here are this week's headlines. Ekaterra Tea rebrands as LIPTON Teas and Infusions. CEO Nathalie Roos says rebranding will strengthen the company's position as the world's #1 tea business. The first of several agriculture-focused satellites is safely in orbit, and the Specialty Tea Institute ceases operations. Plus, this week, Tea Biz travels to Princeton, New Jersey, where Mou Dasgupta created Brook37 Thé Atelier, a new premium brand run by an all-woman production team. During our conversation, she describes her vision of a new era in tea. More to minute, but first, this important message.
What makes a perfect cup of Ceylon tea? The perfect cup is from the tea businesses that ensure the protection of all the children living within their tea estates. We salute Kailani Valley, Talawakili, Bogawanthalawa, Harana, and Elliptia tea estates. Support Save the Children, Sri Lanka.
Nathalie Roos, CEO of Ekaterra Tea this week, announced, quote, "With pride and enthusiasm, our corporate name will change to LIPTON Teas and Infusions." She said this change comes together with our commitment to drive the whole tea industry upwards and to grow value for all on our planet, said Roos. Infusion is not a product description, it's our mindset. It's our modus operandi, she said. In a public statement posted to LinkedIn, she writes that, quote, "Success comes through people collaborating and lifting each other up in the service of common goals. We know the power of blends, and we honor the role of diversity of thinking and ideas in building excellence," end quote. The rebranding will strengthen the company's position as the world's #1 tea business and affirm its approach as a consumer-centric organization, according to the release. Ekaterra currently generates €2 billion in annual turnover from sales in 150 countries. The name change is more inclusive of non-traditional brands in the portfolio, such as Puka Herbs and Tazo. The company owns 34 brands, including PG Tips, the T2 retail chain, and regional brands such as Brook Bond Red Label and Bushell's in Australia. Business Insight. Several companies now share the branding power of Lipton, a name associated with fine tea since the 1800s. In November 2021, CVC Capital Partners agreed to pay Unilever €4.5 billion to acquire the Ekaterra portfolio. Unilever retained production and distribution rights to Lipton Yellow Label in India, Nepal, and Indonesia. The Pepsi-Lipton Tea Partnership in North America owns the rights to Lipton's ready-to-drink offerings. The SpaceX transporter safely delivered the first agricultural-focused Earth observation satellite into orbit this month. Once in place in 2025, a constellation of 7 satellites will each monitor 1 million square kilometers daily, covering 100% of the largest areas of farm and forest lands, about 98% of the globe's land surface. Each of the satellites, designed by Dragonfly Aerospace, is equipped with 13 bands that generate panchromatic and multispectral imagery. The satellites will monitor daily growth of crops, water stress, weed spread, the presence of pests, and temperature variations at ground level. Tea growers can use the data to precisely control CO2 emissions, cut energy consumption, decrease water usage, and reduce losses to pests. Artyom Asanimov, the CEO of EOS Data Analytics, said, quote, "The launch brings new game-changing possibilities of satellite technologies to the agricultural industry. EOSDA will now work with proprietary data sets to provide even deeper and more accurate insight for its customers and partners." End quote. The Specialty Tea Institute has ceased operations. According to Peter Goji, president of the Tea Association of the USA, the decision was driven by economics and a decline in interest. The decision means that STI will not accept membership applications in 2023 and will not conduct classes anytime in the near future. Goji writes that STI could not offer many courses over the last 3 years due to COVID and had experienced a dramatic drop in both membership and interested students. STI is the association's educational arm, offering basic through advanced training. The Institute's certified tea specialist and certified STI instructor credentials and the STI Tea Mentors program were well respected with participation by professionals around the globe. Scale is important, and STI had reached unsustainable lows, with dues income falling to $2,000 in 2022 and course income generating only $15,000 in revenue, said Goji. In 2015, the organization generated $33,000 in membership dues and earned $89,000 from course fees. Revenue had declined to $57,000 by 2019. The association's board is looking into possible next steps, including a sale, a merger, or leasing of STI curricula. STI originated from the merger of the Specialty Tea Registry and the American Premium Tea Institute in 2002. Business Insight. STI developed the U.S.'s first standardized and accredited tea education program. During the past 20 years, thousands attended tea conferences and trade shows where they earned recognition for achieving Level 1 and Level 2 tea specialist certifications. Approximately 200 achieved Level 3 and 4 credentials. Tea professionals today have a choice of several association-sponsored training programs and private academies. Arvinda Anantharaman in Bengaluru reports on this week's tea auction prices.
India Tea Price Report, Sale 1, for the week ending 7th January 2023. This week saw the beginning of celebrations of 200 years of Assam tea. The celebrations are expected to continue year-long and was kick-started with the release of a book as an event. The book titled 200 Years of Assam Tea has been written by Dr. Pradeep Borua. In auctions, North Indian tea gardens are still closed for winter, but Sale 1 opened with 5,565 tons of tea on offer, of which 3,590 tons were sold. The overall average price was low at 149 rupees per kilo, but Arunachal Pradesh's East Siang district topped the list at 254 rupees per kilo. In Calcutta, Sale 1 saw a drop in prices compared with the previous week. 72 tons of Darjeeling tea was on offer, but half sold, the prices averaging 223 rupees a kilo. Orthodox tea grades saw a better sale percentage at 72%. The CIS countries active. In Guwahati, Hindustan Unilever was the top buyer for CTC, purchasing 401 tons. They were also active in Siliguri and were a top buyer for CTC tea here as well. Also in Guwahati, a little over half of Orthodox tea on offer was sold for an average price of 119 rupees a kilo. In the south, Cochin saw a good week with most of CTC on offer sold, with A.B. Thomas being the main buyer, picking up nearly a third of the offering. And Kunu saw a cumulative 79% of tea on offer sold for a low average price of 113 rupees a kilo.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Q-Trade understands that a successful tea blend goes beyond the creative fusion of appearance, aroma, and flavor. Our multi-award-winning product development team is passionate about converting natural ingredients into sensory experiences that customers crave. Every recipe is formulated with a commercial backbone of dependable quality sourcing with a pricing structure that supports a safe, regulated, profitable, and scalable blend. Q-Trade meets every brand's retail, food service, and e-commerce need. For more information, visit our website, qtradeteas.com.
This week, T-Biz travels to Princeton, New Jersey, where Mou Dasgupta created Brook37 Thé Atelier, a new premium brand run by an all-woman production team. During our conversation, she describes her vision of a new era in tea. Mou Dasgupta is pursuing her passion for tea after 25 years of trend-setting corporate leadership in the financial services industry. She developed a love for fine quality tea while living in West Bengal, India, where she attended university in Calcutta. She trained in the sciences and holds a master's degree in software engineering. Quote, Brook37 is proud to bring fresh thinking and an ethical and sustainable mindset to all we do, she says. Our unparalleled tea selection of flavors, aromas, and colors from around the world, along with exquisite packaging, help you choose a positive and aspirational lifestyle. It is a personal delight that you are joining us today on the T-Biz podcast to talk about your vision of a new era in tea and how it led to the launch of Brook37, a premium brand sourced directly from suppliers in the most famous of India's tea-growing regions.
Yeah, by new era of tea, what I want to talk about is reimagine tea in our country, in the USA. The new era of tea, right? So it's not just introducing tea, it's also how you consume the tea. So we're saying that, yes, I mean, you traditionally drink tea from a cup, but break all the barriers. Drink tea from a, champagne glass, or, chill the tea and drink it in a martini glass, and, make other drinks using tea. Just open up your imagination and take an old drink and modernize it and just do fun things with tea. And that's how I feel that the younger generation may find it more interesting. When I go to a friend's house, if they only offer me a Diet Coke or a Coca-Cola or maybe, a soda, club soda or something like that, but I want people to offer tea also as a drink. It is a non-alcoholic beverage with fantastic, health values. So keep your tea caddy next to your wine bottle and open up a beautiful caddy of tea when your special guests arrive at home. So that's how I want to position tea. I moved to the USA from a place that is about 300 miles from Darjeeling that produces the champagne of the tea about 25 years back. One of my big struggles was to find the high quality tea that I was used to consume before I moved to the USA. Over here, you can find really great coffee stores everywhere, but finding a great tea shop is really hard. And tea is also looked upon to us as a health drink. It's something that has a lot of health values, but I want to promote and make people understand that tea can bring people together. Tea can reconnect people, rejuvenate. It's a drink that can elevate the moment. It's a non-alcoholic drink that has health value, but it is also like a fine wine. And you know how in wine, the quality of the grape, the soil, and the weather that drives how the taste and the flavor is going to be. A very, very high quality Darjeeling tea is exactly like that. And that is what I want to make people aware of. I want them to taste Darjeeling tea and see it's a different drink altogether.
Many brands position themselves as premium, but not many succeed in conveying the elegance visible in your color palette, your choice of tins, and pairing an engraved silver-plated infuser with a modern silver measuring spoon in your gift sets. Will you describe what you consider premium?
Yes, I think first elegance comes from the look of the tea leaves. So a high-quality tea leaf is not dust. It's a long, beautiful leaf, and it is rolled to perfection. It's dried to perfection. It's hand-picked at a perfect time. So when I went to Darjeeling, what I noticed is a tea leaf that is plucked before rain and after rain can taste and smell totally different. It's the elegance of look, it's the elegance of flavor, it's the elegance of taste. When we are adding some of the silver accessories, it's almost like when you are drinking a high quality scotch or a single malt. You can drink it with a plastic cup, or you can drink it with a beautiful crystal glass, right? And it's the setting. And high quality Darjeeling tea, I think, demands that kind of setting that is going to not just the flavor, not just the color of the tea, but it's also the accessories, all of it. It elevates the moment. So that's where the beautiful packaging comes. That's where the look of the tea comes, the silver accessories come. So people feel that it's a beautiful moment that they're creating, whether it's with their children, whether it's their grandchildren, whether it's their significant other, or by themselves. Any moment, it's an elevation of the moment.
You have a wonderful founding story. First finding success as a software engineer, angel investor, and executive director of J.P. Morgan Chase and Morgan Stanley, before directing your talents to tea.
Primary inspiration was because for 25 years, I have been really looking for the kind of tea I like, the Darjeeling tea, and I had a very hard time finding that. A lot of time, the teas come through many hands. Every time you open a bag, the quality of the tea goes down. When I left my job and I decided I want to do something on my own, tea kept on coming back to me. But this is an opportunity, because all the best quality teas we are buying, they get picked up by Germany, by Japan, right away from Darjeeling. And they don't come, most of the cases, they don't come to our country. I think we are deprived of that highest quality champagne of the tea. So that's what drove me. But I didn't want to just bring the tea. I wanted to bring the whole experience with it. And hence, we call ourselves the Chanel of the tea, and hence the accessorizing and all of that. So I wanted to create a brand that is going to catch everyone's attention, all the sensorial organs, the look and touch and feel, all of it together. So that's what inspired me to start a company. And when I wanted to start a company, I didn't want to have a company that is the driving force is all about money or finance. I wanted to have a responsible company, because there is a saying that says that we are not inheriting our nature for the environment from our ancestors. We are borrowing it from our children. And so the environment that I'm borrowing from my children, I want to give it back in a good shape, at least that in a conscious way. So we are building a conscious brand from day one. We are plastic neutral, biodegradable, etc. It has to be empowering. It has to be socially conscious. So we are doing multiple things to make sure that it's a socially conscious brand.
Will you share with listeners your inspiration for creating a woman-led team?
it's not actually a conscious decision. I didn't come and say that I'm only going to hire women, but 90% people in the team is women because the people I found are best at the work are women. So the best tea pluckers are women. The best packaging people are women. My tea sommelier happens to be a woman. The person who is doing my video and photography is a woman. I just found the best people to be women. Even my marketeer is a woman. So I just happen to have a team of women. So it is empowering. It is empowering to see that we have the best of the people who happen to be women in the team. By elevating Darjeeling tea in my country is also elevating the people back in Darjeeling. It's a sense of pride that we produce one of the best teas in the world. I want them to have that sense of pride. I look at Darjeeling just like that. It should be a name by itself and not just a tea. And hopefully Brook37 is going to give that to Darjeeling.
Let's talk a minute about sourcing. That's a challenge in Darjeeling right now with many of the 87 registered estates in distress, several recently acquired, and all experiencing an overall decline in production from around 10 million kilos 10 years ago to 6 million kilos per year in recent years.
My primary goal is to bring the best quality tea to my country in the USA. And it is not to promote the biggest tea growers or tea estates of Darjeeling. It's really to work with anybody who is growing high quality tea. So we are looking for small growers. We're looking for entrepreneurs who are innovating, new type of tea, working with all of them and finding those tea and bringing them here at a good price. So I do feel that at times the prices are compromised. And when someone is giving 70%, 80% off of tea, the price they're paying probably in the back end is also not the price that the tea demands, right? And we are ready to pay $100 for a bottle of fine wine, but we are not ready to pay $100 for 100 grams of tea, right? So if we don't elevate Darjeeling to that point, people in the back end are always going to suffer. I alone don't have the power to eliminate poverty from there, but at least what I want to do is make sure that I do my part of it, that I promote their work, I promote their tea, I promote the tea growers, and I promote the small businesses because I am a small business owner.
Intrigued by what you heard in today's podcast? Would you like to learn more from our global network of tea biz journalists and tea experts? Remember to visit the Tea Biz website for more comprehensive coverage. That's www.t-biz.com. Thanks for listening. Farewell till next week.
At Highland, we're all about celebrating little wins and little ways to innovate digital processes. There's no customer pain point too small for us to help with. Maybe that's why more than half of the Fortune 100 looks to Highland to connect their content and data, improve processes, and turn little efficiencies into big wins for their customers and clients. Highland, intelligent content solutions for innovators everywhere at highland.com.